Now, thousands of young people thronged to the Accra International Conference Center yesterday to seek jobs. The conference center was the venue for the maiden edition of the Job and Career Fair organized by the Youth Employment Agency. The Job Fair is a platform that seeks to connect job seekers to employment avenues. We'll get into that shortly, but first, my colleague Justice Baidu caught up with some of the job seekers who attended the fair hoping to get their dream jobs. They share their stories and expectations.
The road in front of the conference center is busier than usual today, largely because of the number of young people using it. They are here to attend the job fair organized by the Youth Employment Authority, YEA.
They are all hoping to get a job because thousands of people are out here searching for a job. So we are all hoping for the best. At the end of the day, we hope everybody will get wherever he or she belongs to. So many years now, if I'm not lying, about 6 years now, I'm in the house. You know, it's not easy, but you are still managing. But as for today, we are all hoping for the best.
Harry Yao Adombo lost his job when the COVID-19 pandemic struck. A job, he says, was already underpaying him.
Look for a job. That's why I'm here. I now have a family of about 4 kids. Everybody depends on me, so you should know what really I'm going through. So it's only God, because the 1,000 is my take home from the school. As I said, I do other things, paying about 150 cedis for rent. My brother, the fact of the matter is that I've been trying to move out of this country, not today. It's rather unfortunate that if you go through my passport right now and see the kind of visas I have in my passport, you will be surprised. That has been my option all this while, because I've seen some sort of unfairness in the system.
What we are supposed to do is to make sure that the youth of Ghana have jobs, and that is exactly what we are doing. We have seen thousands of people coming so far.
Now, like many of the young people here today, he's hoping to get one that pays better. The job fair will be running for the next 2 days, and the YEA is hoping to fill 3,000 job slots, which they say are available. But with the huge numbers that have trooped in here, it promises to be a big struggle to see those who will be lucky. Justice Baidu, JoyNews, Accra.
Well, on the back of that, the unemployment rate in Ghana has pegged at 4.53%. The Joy Research Desk breaks it down further, and we'll be taking a look at those graphics to give you those details. Now, the unemployment rate in Ghana, if you check out those details between 2012 and 2020, you would see that in 2012 it stood at some 6%. That was just under 6%, I should say, at 5.93%. In 2013, 6.26%. So you would notice an upward trajectory from 2012. In 2014, we have same at 6.52%. And then in 2015, hitting a peak of 6.81%. Now, from then onwards, it starts dwindling, falling. And in 2016, it comes down to 5.45%. Then there's 2017 with 4.22%. Then in 2018, a marginal decline in going to 4.16%. In 2019, 4.12%. And then in 2020, there's a little bit of a shoot up again, where it inches upwards to 4.53%. You should also note, like you're seeing on your televisions, that according to a World Bank report in 2020, Ghana is faced with a 12% youth unemployment rate when it comes to the portion of Ghana's workforce that is underemployed. And by the way, underemployment refers to the fact that the skill sets are not being used where they ought to be used. You have a 50% gap in there. And then you also have this bit here where both youth employment and underemployment are higher than the overall unemployment rates in the sub-Saharan African region. And that is part of the detail we bring you. Now, looking at youth linked to employment opportunities through government interventions. In 2015, 357,779 of them. In 2016, 91,696. No data available for the year 2017. But in 2018, 107,576 with 455,040 in 2019. The 2020 figure, 80,538. And the 2023 projection, 130,000. Will we get there? That's the question. Now, the Director of Business Support and Policy at the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, Office of the President, Franklin Owusu-Kakari, says there are jobs in the system, but what is lacking is the skills gap, where job seekers lack the needed skills to thrive in the job market.
One of the serious challenges hampering organizations, and our duty as NEIP is to groom entrepreneurs, is to groom people to become job givers, employers like yourself who are seated here this morning. And as we work with them, the key challenge they face, for me, number one, is not money. Number one is human capital, human resource. A number of companies are struggling to get the right people in place. And that's why I keep saying that it is not that jobs are not in Ghana. Jobs there, but boys and girls no day. So this week, between today and tomorrow, our duty here is going to help these young people to appreciate what these enterprises and SMEs are doing and the challenges they face to getting the right people in place, for them to have a good mindset to take whoever's job they are on as their own businesses. And that is how you can be able to create your own. And that's what we are going to share with the young people to prepare them to be fit for your work and the kind of thing that they want to do. And we believe that through this, I will live here having people who are entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs as well.
Now, speaking at that same event, the Deputy Minister for Employment and Labour Relations, Bright Rekubrobe, said government was not paying lip service to the unemployment situation.
Indeed, successive governments have all ridden on the back of youth unemployment in their quest to get power. The youth are always made to believe that their job problems will be solved when they vote us into power. But many a times, their hopes keep dying out, and the consequences for the ruling government is obvious. Conscious of this, we will all the time ensure that we work with employers to ensure that we give jobs to our youth. You will recall that under President Kufuor's regime was when this initiative, at the time it was called the National Youth Employment Program, that was when the idea was mooted. And it was because we were faced with a very high unemployment situation which we had to do something about immediately. Along the value chain, the NYEP became JIDA, and in 2015, thank God, we had an act that ushered in the YE. Since this government came into power, we've given a facelift to YE. YE has developed the job center, which we've been talking about. They've also developed the artisanal directory, the work abroad program, and negotiated a number of regional flagship programs in addition to the traditional youth employment models. At a time when businesses are recovering from the economic impact of COVID-19 and are looking to revamp their operations, it is important to ensure that employers are able to find the job seekers with the right mix of skills and attitudes to support in the revamping of the industry. This job fair, which is the first of many more to come, is therefore a job matching platform envisioned to facilitate efforts by employers and job seekers to find each other.
Now, the Deputy CEO in charge of finance and operations at the YEA, Lydia Atiemo, said the job fair is designed to address these concerns.
Unemployment situation in Ghana and in Africa is one that is, entrenching, and it's getting deeper and deeper. And the sooner that all stakeholders come onto the table for us to find an effective and sustainable solution, the better for our continent as a whole. To the employers here, I would like to keep it very simple. We would love to see the energy that you would bring into the room. The future that we have out there, our youths, are also indirectly all of us, our clients. And therefore, we're looking forward to you having a warm reception with them, sharing your various corporate cultures and what you do, and how they can be part of your cultures at your various institutions, what they can do, their credentials, character, that they need to be able to apply when the opportunity presents itself. Your relationship between us, and when I say us, government, is to definitely, right now that we have this job center in place, to hopefully be able to take it to the next level, where we find ourselves on the table, the private sector, government, education, talking about how we can look at the involvement of the workplace, looking at possibly subsidy taxations to ensure that with the increase in population, how can we get your various organizations to recruit more of the youth? Because no matter how many recruitment process you have, we can all be on the table to see how we can get more of them with you. To the youth, I'd like to say that we are deeply impressed. I believe the employers here also are. Some coming as early as 5:30 a.m. in the morning. So I wish you also the very best in your job search and in your career.
More on jobs, and President Akufo-Addo has inaugurated a yam and cassava processing factory at Adonkwanta in the Kratchi East municipality of the OT region. This is part of government's One District, One Factory project. The factory, when completed, will employ over 1,000 people. He later visited the waste management plant in Yariga at Dambai, where he thanked the chiefs and people for their votes in the December 2020 polls. He assured the people concerns of erratic power supply and roads will be addressed.
Political leaders it doesn't help to be constructing a campaign of lies. Every time you are being contradicted. Choice no.
Of course, we do know that the president has been in the OT region, touring as well and giving some, inaugurating some of those factories there, the yam factory, yam and cassava processing factory that he's been looking at, all in a bid to actually create jobs. Well, now President Akufo-Addo is in the Volta region. He is expected to start his tour in Hohoi, where he will commission a tech and solution plant. A courtesy call on the chiefs of B Traditional Council will also be paid. My colleague Ivy Setoji joins us live with the latest. Ivy, thanks for joining the feed. Now, when can you tell us when exactly is the president expected to arrive in Hohoi?
The president arrived in Hohoi last night. Currently, he's in a meeting with some delegates or some party members in Hohoi. We are waiting for him at the College of Education in Hohoi, where he will meet with the chiefs of the Traditional Council. And after that, he will go and commission some projects like a tech and solution plant, and then also pay a courtesy call on the chiefs of the Traditional Council. And then from Hohoi, he will proceed to North Dai, where he also commissioned a number of projects. So for now, we are waiting for the president at the College of Education. Yeah, that's St. Teresa's College of Education here in Hohoi.
Ivy, how have the people of Hohoi received the news of the president's visit, especially concerning inaugurating these new facilities?
Well, the residents, some of them who spoke with us last night when we arrived in Hokwe said they are happy about the project because, according to them, the project will give them a financial independence. Some people will be employed, especially the youth, and that will help a lot. And so, yes, the residents, those who spoke to us, are happy about the project, and they are also, some of them are also happy about the visit of the president and the fact that he's touring some project sites and commissioning and also inspecting some projects.
My final bit to you, job creation is something that has been on the radar for a long time, and there's a lot of unemployment like we're seeing. The young people especially that you've interacted with, what are their hopes, what are their expectations in line with this?
The young people want jobs. Obviously, they want jobs. Most of them, according to them, are jobless. They want the president to make sure that most youth in these areas have their own jobs so they can take care of their families, especially the graduates who are still unemployed. They want the president to do something about the unemployment in the country, especially in the Volta region, where we are currently. So no matter how the job is, they want jobs. So that is what the young people want. And those who are not able to go to school, who can be helped to learn some trade, they also want the president to look at that. Some of them, according to them, with the help of the MP, but they want more, according to them, so that they can also be financially independent. Right.
So he is headed next, like you said, to North Dine, right after leaving Hohoi.
From here, he will go straight to North Dine to commission some projects, and then from North Dine, he will go straight to Ho, where he will end his tour by casting a sword for the second phase of the University of Health and Allied Sciences.
Ivy Setoji, thank you very much for connecting with us. Ivy is our Volta regional correspondent, and she got in touch there with details from the president's tour of the Volta region. Now, a government delegation was in the Ashanti regional town of Ejura on Thursday to meet traditional, religious and opinion leaders ahead of the public disclosure of the report by the Justice Kumsin Committee. The delegation also met with families whose relatives died during the Ejura disturbances. Members of the delegation included the coordinator for the Zongo and Inner City Development Secretariat under the office of the President, Ben Abdallah Banda. It also included Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Authority, Mustafa Abdul Hamid. Others are Sheikh Arimaya Shuaib, spokesperson of the National Chief Imam, and a representative from the Ministry of Interior. Brother of one of the deceased told the media the meeting was only to deliver information about the readiness of the committee's report. Abdallah Abubakar said they only called us to tell us that the President of the Republic has sent a group to come and tell us the report is out. He insists the family wants nothing but justice.
They've said nothing. It wasn't a meeting. They only called us to inform us that President of the Republic has sent a group of people to come and tell us that the report is out, and nothing. We always say, all what we need is justice. All what we need is justice. Today is me. Tomorrow it might be somebody. So we have to find a ways and means of stopping this nonsense from this country. So me in particular, I am ready to sacrifice my life for the freedom of this nation.
It's 20 minutes past the top of the hour. You're still live on JoyNews Desk. We take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We now take you to the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital, where there is talk on World Suicide Prevention Day. Speaking is Dr. Ruth Owusu-Entry.
Mental disorders that have not been treated. So untreated mental disorders have also been found to be key risk factors for attempted suicide. So you realize that anybody or almost anybody who attempts to take their life is going through some challenge. And almost 90% of these people are actually going through some untreated mental challenges, especially depression. And yet, there are so many negative attitudes towards people who attempt to take their lives. One of the key negative attitudes as a nation is that if you attempt to take your life, currently in Ghanaian law, it is a criminal offense. So if you tried killing yourself and you don't die, it means that you'll be put behind bars. You'll be sent to jail. Is that a good law? No, I want to hear from you. Is that a good law? When the person who was trying to take his or her life is actually going through depression or is actually going through difficult academic issues, you go and put the person back in prison. Or you find the person, you jail the person. Won't the person come out worse? Another negative attitude is that we stigmatize against people and families that attempt suicide. Sometimes we make mockery of them. Hey, now the paper back up our failure now obekunwi. Me ma failure bear 10 times so me da so te ho. If you can contain 10 failures, maybe they cannot. So you don't trivialize suicide attempt. In some cultures, it is even a taboo. If someone attempts suicide and they find out, instead of getting the right help for the person, they rather want to cover it up. Hey, don't send it out. Don't let anybody hear. Let's not talk about it. It's a taboo. Hey, for you to go and say that my family member did this. No. And because of that, the person never gets help because we are covering up. Some people who support the law, and this law is Section 57, subsection 2 of the Ghana law, of the Criminal and Other Offences Act of 1960. It says that a person who attempts to commit suicide commits a misdemeanor. And people are arguing that, oh, when we make it a criminal offense, then it will serve as a deterrent. It will prevent people from doing it. People will not be afraid of attempting to kill themselves. We recently took some data. It's still unpublished. We took some data about 2 years ago, not recently, 2 years ago, from our own Kumasi prisons here. And we realized that people who are in prison have attempted suicide on the average 9 good times. So if you put somebody in prison because they attempted to kill themselves, look, it doesn't serve as any deterrent.
And from the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital, as we mark World Suicide Prevention Day, we now bring you back to Accra, where indeed underway at the conference center, Justice Beidou joins us live from the Accra International Conference Center as we have that job fair. Now, Justice, what's the situation there as we speak?
So, Benjamin, it's the second day of what is supposed to be a two-day event, trying to connect people who are looking for jobs to prospective companies that have openings that would be able to employ people. Today, as it was yesterday, the numbers are still huge. You have many people who have trooped in here and have been registering. I've spoken to people who tell me they came in here as early as 7 a.m. Just so they are able to secure the first slot to be able to get inside the auditorium itself, where you have many of these companies that have set up in exhibition booths and registering people that they say they would be interviewing from next week to be able to offer them jobs that they have available, Ben.
Now, from yesterday, we heard some very interesting stories about some of these job seekers. Have you interacted with any of these, would-be employees, and what have they been sharing with you? What stories have they been telling you?
So I spoke with some of them, the people who, the companies that are registering people, and they tell me that a good number of the people that they've already registered have what they are looking for, and so hopefully they would be able to give them slots. But then they also tell me that there are also many of the graduates that are coming in that just do not have the qualifications, or do not have the cut, or do not have the work experience, or the experience to be able to convince them to be able to give them jobs. And so that is the situation. When you talk about the job seekers themselves, many of them are really not sure what their chances are, looking at the sheer amount of people that have come here looking for slots. Yesterday we were told by the Youth Employment Authority, who are the organizers of this event, that they have available slots for 3,000 people. But I was here yesterday, Ben, and there probably would have been about 3 times that number here yesterday alone. And today there's almost the same amount of the same number of people that have come here. And so for many of the young people that I've been speaking with, it is just living in a world of uncertainty, not sure what would happen, really hoping that they make the cut, and then they are able to appeal to some of the companies where they have come in to register with. But it is really a situation of uncertainty, not really sure what would happen.
Finally, Justice, how smooth has the process gone today? They are going till later in the day. How smooth has the process been? And does it look as though they are going to be able to process all of these applicants before the end of the day?
Compared to yesterday, it is really well organized today. Yesterday, as we did report, there were very chaotic scenes at the start of the process, because many people had come in from outside of Accra. Many people had come in not knowing that this process was going to be done on the regional level. People who just wanted to be here and be sure they were going to have the opportunity to register for a job had traveled overnight to come in here, and there were long winding queues, and many people just wanted to get in at the same time. And so there were very chaotic scenes from yesterday. But today, as we've been here this morning, I realized that there is a lot more organization. There are organized queues, and they've provided tents and chairs under these tents where people would come in and then would sit down and wait till it is their turn to be able to register. I would just ask my camera to pan into some of the places where people are queuing up to register, and then some look at some of the people who are also getting ready to get into the conference center itself. We could also go in and then try to engage some of these prospective job seekers, Ben.
Well, Justice, thank you so much for bringing us the latest as far as that is concerned. And of course, later on, we shall get more of what exactly is transpiring at the Accra International Conference Center. Thank you, Justice. Now, the Lands and Natural Resources Minister, Samuel Abujinapo, is charging traditional authorities, police commanders and DCEs in mining areas to team up to fight the illegal mining in their areas. According to him, illegal mining cannot flourish in the country if traditional and political stakeholders work together. The Lands and Natural Resources Minister indicated that government is putting up robust measures to revamp the timber industry. Richard Kwejunyako has more in the following report.
Lands and Natural Resources Minister Samuel Abujinapo is on a regional tour to interact with key stakeholders in land and natural resource protection. He shares what his experience in the fight against illegal mining is and what he believes could do the trick.
We need your support, and we need the support of all citizens in the central region for us to be able to make a headway when it comes to this matter of galamsey. We do so for the good of our country and for the survival of our country. And there are all kinds of measures we are putting in place. That in any community where you have illegal mining, clearly, if you have a situation where the chief or the odikro of that place, the political leadership, which is in many cases the DC or the assemblyman, and the head of the law enforcement agency, which in many cases is the police commander, working in unison and working together, there's no way illegal mining can flourish in a community like that. When the chief, the police commander, the DCE, or their equivalents work together in harmony to deal with matters relating to illegal mining, my short experience tells me that in those kinds of circumstances, it becomes very difficult for illegal mining to flourish.
The minister revealed government has put in place measures to revamp the timber industry.
And therefore, since I became minister, I've realized that we have a timber management and bureaucracy which doesn't have the raw material to support that bureaucracy and to support the industry. And therefore, under the leadership of Honorable Benito, there's an ongoing effort to come up with recommendations and also a strategy to revamp the timber industry. And I'm calling on the authorities who superintend over the timber industry to support the minister and his team so that together we can revamp the timber industry in our country.
Central Regional Minister Justina Marigoda-San praised her colleagues in the fight against the illegalities in the mining sector.
Your engagement with us, I think, is the best we can have, because when we are able to engage the community members, bring all stakeholders on board, then we are sure that sustainability of what we are doing is going to be achieved. And the people are going to also own up and then take ownership of what we are doing. So this is the best we can have. And I pray that we all support you to get this done.
President of the Central Regional House of Chiefs, Odefo Amoako Abuedu, pledged the support of the traditional authorities in the fight against galamsey. The minister also moved to the galamsey site to assess the development there. Reporting for JoyNews, Richard Kwejonya-Akon, Cape Coast.
From illegal mining, let's talk good roads. You'd have to brace yourself to pay more in road tolls and property tax as government begins mobilizing to explore extra means of raising funds to finance the country's road deficit. The Ministry of Roads and Highways says this has become necessary as the road fund continues to grow lean as against the huge needs in road infrastructure. Government has in the past shelved attempts to increase road tolls for this purpose over public outcry. But Deputy Roads Minister Stephen Jalula says Ghanaians must be ready to pay more if they want better roads. The Deputy Roads Minister also directed all contractors who abandoned project sites due to delayed payments to return immediately or risk being sacked. Government last month released some 800 million Ghana cedis for the payment of arrears owed contractors, but some of them are still yet to return to site. Stephen Jalula says if this continues, their contracts will be terminated, followed by possible prosecutions. On that note, we take a break for business. Do stay. Thanks for staying. Welcome to the business end of the news. Now, small and medium-scale enterprises have not been spared the negative impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to CEO of the Africa Business Innovation Forum, Precious Jew, it is even more worrying that SMEs do not have the needed support to make them competitive players on the market. He says there is the need for stakeholders to train entrepreneurs on best practices relevant to their businesses.
The Africa Business Innovation Forum is designed to train small and medium-scale enterprises to make the most of their businesses through technology and digitization. According to CEO of the forum, Precious Jehu, SMEs need empowerment to excel in their businesses, thus the establishment of the initiative. This, he believes, will help them expand by using data available to get access to credit facilities.
So I think for me, after this forum, there will be a new spirit or a new kind of engagement in terms of how we do business in Ghana. Ghana's small businesses are struggling. And for me, if you look at one of our panel, we have digitizing SME banking. I'm looking at an SME should be able to present his mobile money transactions data to be able to access credit. So if somebody who sells yam in the market or who sells food by the roadside can present his or her transactions or mobile money to a bank like First National Bank or to any other bank and say, these are my transactions. Based on this one and give me credit, I think it should be feasible. There shouldn't be any form of blockages or any form of restrictions based on the fact that I am presenting data on the...
Head of Commercial and Business Banking at First National Bank, Mark Echampon, believes that proper documentation and digitization of transactions can help SMEs get resources that could help them grow their businesses.
We are de-emphasizing checks because we believe that's the new way of payments. If you look at our merchant services proposition, we've rolled out programs that allow SMEs, especially the small ones, to have easy access to cash. Cash is basically dying out, and we need to provide digital platforms that enables that. We've looked at QR codes, we've looked at Momo integration, we've looked at normal card payments, and those are the areas that we are doing that. If you look at how we onboard our customers, that is also fully digitized. Today, we can actually walk to a customer's premises without the customer filling a single form, and right at that premises, we can actually also issue a card to a business customer to also be able to make payments and also withdraw cash from all the ATMs.
SMEs employ about 80% of Ghana's working population, hence the need to ensure that maximum support from government and stakeholders is given. Key among the issues raised was the need for government to help SMEs have seamless access to credit facilities.
Now, the Ghana Hotels Association says a large number of its members are yet to fully recover from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to its president, Dr. Edward Aka Nyameke Jr., many hotels have not been able to meet even half of the pre-COVID-19 occupancy rate. He spoke to Joy Business at the signing ceremony of the 5th Ghana Hotels Association Awards 2020 between the Hotels Association and Customer Service Africa. There's more in this report.
Dr. Nyameke Jr. is calling for government's full support in order to aid members to recover swiftly from the impact of the coronavirus pandemic on their operations. According to him, that is the only way the industry will be able to stand on its feet going forward.
Well, it has not been what we would have wished for. It has not been where we want it to be. I'm sure you are aware of the challenges that we had with the NBSSI, the then NBSSI. Recently, another 55 million Ghana cedis, specifically for the hospitality industry, has been announced. The deadline for one of the applications ended in 11th August. We are still waiting for the disbursement of that money. So if you talk about support or stimulus package from government, I can say on authority that we have not received what we think is enough to get the business back on its feet.
Executive Director of Customer Service Africa, Priscilla Wellington, who also doubles as brand ambassador of the Ghana Hotels Association Awards, called on industry players to extend the needed support to be able to achieve their set target.
So the Ghana Hotels Association prestigious 5th GHA Awards, it's such an honor to be part of that. And the hotels in Ghana, you know, they are the ones that have really been hit with the COVID. And so the theme for the award is resilience and sustainability. And there are some hotels that have been so resilient throughout the COVID period. And so those are the things that we are looking forward to. And also, I'm looking towards coming to your offices for you to help us and partner us to, you know, raise funds for this year's prestigious awards 2022.
The 5th Ghana Association Awards is set to be launched in October under the theme Resilience and Sustainability of Hotels in Ghana. The partnership is targeted at raising 250,000 Ghana cedis to aid in the organization of the awards.
It's a wrap for business. Stay tuned for sports.